you have to get 3 consecutive exceptional gradings in every phase of flying for 3 consecutive years. And I was amongst the very first after the partition to get that in 1950, I think it was 56. As an individual, I had achieved what I wanted to achieve. You know, my dreams had been fulfilled. Now it was time to step out of myself. यानी अपने अंदर से निकल के बाहर निकल के मैं देखूं कि मैं how will I affect the lives of others? How will I be able to make lives or the quality of other people better? You see, and for that you have to have a very different mindset. It has to go beyond yourself. You don't seem to matter. It's like a teacher. मेरे लिए एक बहुत बड़ा task था. I wanted to create a warrior out of every pilot that was under my command. I demanded too much from them. मेरे squadron में से 6 जो लड़के थे, the young boys who under my command, उनमें से 5 को सितारा जुर्रत मिला 65 में, और उनमें से 6 जो थे वो एयर मार्शल बने, 1 एयर चीफ मार्शल बना. मैं कहता हूँ जो फाउंडेशन हमारी एयर मार्शल असर खान, एयर मार्शल नूर खान और एयर मार्शल रहीम खान ने रखी, उसकी वजह से मैं वहाँ पहुँचा, which enabled me to pass my knowledge and my attitude. It's an attitude which you wear on your sleeve. You know, you make them feel superior. मैंने कहा कि number 19 squadron जो मेरे squadron का number था, number 19 squadron will be the number 1 squadron of Pakistan Air Force, और उसको हमने number 1 squadron बनाया.
After 7 years of hard work, एक book लिखी है, which is Flight of the Falcons. And in this book, you have uncovered the truth behind the 1965 and 1971 war. What message have you represented to the youth of Pakistan in this book?
Well, if I was to talk about the flight of the Falcon, then I think the fun of it will be go.
ठीक है.
So what I'll tell you is that I have very professionally, incisively, without any personal stake or without any malice, but I have tried to get the truth before this nation, which I think has been wanting for all this time. And I learned it after a lot of hard work, a lot of research, and in fact I think in 7 years I've paid much in health while I discovered the truth about our history.
Okay.
Remember, history is lives in our lives. They say that take a step forward, you must look back first. And history is punishing us because we have disregarded history, we have insulted history. And history comes back at you. And I don't mean to say that we should get mired in history and you should get despondent and disparate. No, not at all. We should learn the lessons of history and apply them where they're applicable. That is the value, that is the meat of history, that is the gift of history, is that we learn the lessons and we don't feel any shame in saying that yes, we made mistakes. That is the problem with us. I think that accepting your mistake is a great kind of courage.
So why are we so inflexible to admit it?
It's because so many crimes have been committed by people who have been, and they are masqueraded as heroes. That's what I'm saying. Why you celebrate the 65 war?
पढ़ते आ रहे हैं syllabus में, जो हम बचपन से पढ़ते आ रहे हैं अपने syllabus में, कैसे हो सकता है कि हम एकदम उसको disregard कर दें?
That's right.
How can we do that?
That's going to be a difficulty. So you would have to people. I have only tried to put, let us say, touch the tip of the iceberg. I have only tried to leave behind a thought for the youth to go research more and come up with the answers to the problems. You see?
ठीक है.
And the thing is that most of the big blunders and the blunders, the committers of the blunders, have their networking very much alive and resurgent. They don't die, and they don't allow people like you to come up. They don't allow people like other youth to come up, because it'll be their sons who will become ministers here, ministers there. They'll become MNAs there. Because until there's a national awareness that these people are the product of corruption, and they are product of things that have been done wrong to this country, that they have taken away the right of the intelligent, right of the people with initiative, and what they call them like mavericks. You know that I'm a maverick. Okay, I've been also judged as a person who is a non-conformist. What is a non-conformist? To my mind, and I want to tell this to the youth, God has given you a great gift of initiative. Initiative and intellect. And use that.
Right.
In using that, you're going to have to do different things. If you keep following the same old trodden path, you're not going to make progress.
Okay.
And when you are slightly different from the others, you will find that yes, you are a minority. There was a day in my life when Ziaul Haq himself had decided to appoint me in PI, because it's been tradition that Air Force officer goes and runs PI. And in that period, he had promised the nation elections in September of 1969. And I was the director of joint warfare at the General Headquarters. And we were asked to come and attend a very special kind of a highly confidential meeting which was going to be addressed by the President of Pakistan, which was dictator Ziaul Haq. He was very fond of me. He always praised me in front of everyone. He always talked about my exploits and my war performances and so on. So to that extent, I must acknowledge that I was grateful to him. But then when it comes to looking at your nation and how you stand in a nation and how you stand in front of another person, then you have to get out of yourself. You have to get out of your safety network. You have to get out and be a Pakistani from your heart with your courage. And at the end of the thing, Ziaul Haq stood up and he said, gentlemen, you see this situation in Pakistan is such, the politicians are third rate, and the rest of the situation does not make it conducive for holding elections. So therefore I've decided to postpone election indefinitely until such time that a good nucleus of real practicing Muslims comes up, and then we will let them take over and so on and so forth. And until then, I was absolutely stunned. I couldn't believe it. So I was the only person who stood up, and I said, Mr. President, will you allow me to say something? And he said, well, we've spent 3 hours. And then he got a bit angry, and he said, if something has gone over your heads, you can come and discuss it with me sometimes. So I said, sir, in this gathering, I would not be honest to myself if I did not say to you what's in my heart and what's in my mind. He said, all right, make it short. So I told him, I said, Mr. President, I do not agree with your assessment of the situation. I think that we have now become conquerors and not the defenders of this nation. When the sons of the soil leave their office, I meant the Corps Commander, he's preceded by rotating beacons and sirens. I said, this is something that I was taught in World War II, that when it heralds the approach of the enemy, they come with sirens and rotating beacons. Of course, it did something that after that he had stopped the Corps Commander from using sirens and so on and so forth. I said, but sir, the point is the intelligence has never told the truth. They aren't telling you the truth about the heart and mind of Pakistanis. Pakistani heart and mind is scared of the whip. They're being whipped, their skin is being whipped out of their bones just because they're asking for democracy, they're asking for their rights. I said, why? Because I said, sir, I remember that there were times when in uniform, when people saw us, they used to kiss our hands. I said, today I see contempt in their eyes, I see hatred. What have I done to deserve that? I said, sir, I'm part of your constituency. That's why you said you're sharing this with the constituency. So I'm part of that constituency. And I don't share your vision at all. That was it. That was the end of my career. I have had several proud moments in my life, and that was the most proud moment. And I've never looked back. And he promised to have me with a begging bowl in his hand. He told one of my friends, in fact, he's visiting today from Tehran, and I was supposed to be with him. But This I felt was more important, to give a message to the youth, to those fantastic, lovely people whose future, I think, deservedly has to be better than what these people are going to offer to them. They must have a future where their endeavor, their determination, their courage can get them to their objectives, and fulfill their dreams. That is very important, right?